AI is like having a hamster. Like,
Yeah.
if you just get the hamster and you put it in the wheel and you just let it run, but nobody's there to feed it, clean up the cage, make sure it has water, make sure it's still in the cage. AI, it has leakage. What are you doing to manage all of that? That's your governance strategy. And welcome back, listeners and viewers, to another episode of the Unbreakable podcast. Hey, Josie, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's Remembrance Day here, so it's been nice and chill and, you know, getting
Yep.
excited for all the peace we have here. I can sit and chill and not feel bad about it.
Yeah. Yeah. In your new place.
Yes, that's still kind of a disaster, but it's getting there.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Moving takes time. Like it takes a lot of time.
And I haven't had an office in so long that I actually don't know what to do with it. Like put
Well, did
stuff.
you want to just invite Brittany in to start doing some laundry or something? Or
No, but she did help me fill up the bookcase.
of course she did.
I
What a
did go
nerd.
reorganize what she put up there, but we'll keep that
What a
between us right now.
yeah. It wasn't alphabetical.
No, no, and the books were like different sizes and
Oh,
everything.
that's not acceptable.
Yeah,
No.
see,
Like,
see,
yeah. See
yeah,
down there.
yeah,
Yeah. No.
yeah.
It's a thing. It's a
It is a
thing.
thing. I need my, big to small, and then the authors have to stay the same. I don't know. Maybe I'm more OCD than I thought I was.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure you are. I'm pretty sure you are. Um,
Maybe.
decided to have a Tim's today. That was always an experience. The A team is never working on a statutory holiday. I will tell you
No.
that. So we were over in Singapore for a couple of weeks, and so Singapore, and then over to Houston on the way home. So I'm just actually home from 3 days or 3 days, 3 weeks on the road. Um, so I am still in recovery. Like I was like the jet lag doesn't really bother me like a whole lot because I just wander around with caffeine pills in my bag. And, I say all the time, the mind controls the body, right? And so I just refuse to let myself feel these levels of fatigue. But then it's like, okay, but you're not actually superhuman and jet lag is actually a thing. And so,
Yeah.
I've really been focusing this weekend on recovery. I took 2 extra days off from work on the weekend. Well, obviously, we have the statutory for Remembrance Day, but I wanted to get up and take in the ceremony from Ottawa. So I watched it together with Ruth this morning. Uh, the early one, so that we were watching the one in the Eastern time zone. So yeah, so I'm dragging a little bit here, but here we are. We've got some coffee. This is like, I don't know. I think I had 3 or 4 Nespressos to start the day, and so we just went with the extra large. Threw a little bit of coffee creamer in there because I'm spoiling myself. But the reason I tell you this, there were Tim Hortons everywhere in Singapore,
Really?
everywhere. Yeah, like everywhere. And so we went and tried a couple of like the standard donuts. Like they had like, the Timbits really is really what we were after because I don't really eat donuts. But so I was like, okay, I want to try them because I love Timbits. Like holidays, like driving across the prairies, we get a box of 10, and we kind of like, oh, delicious, right? And so
Yes.
they were relatively spot on. Yeah, I was really surprised. So I mean that speaks to the consistency, but they were a little bit smaller
Okay.
and they were a little bit heavier feeling. Like how like a honey cruller one
Hmm.
or or the honey dipped is the one. They didn't do the crullers. Um they were a little denser than I would have liked, but I understand. Like you're in a different climate. It's
Yeah.
it's very wet there compared to here, right? So, but the coffee was, I mean, Tim Hortons is not great coffee,
It's not
um,
bad
but
coffee either. It's like
it's
the
not
medium.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like what you get on a road trip or when you're ripping home from a hair appointment to get on to a podcast, you know?
Okay, wait, did they have any cool flavors over there?
They did. They had like, well, they themed them out according to like the different areas of the country, but it was like only the centers that people would know, right? So they had like the Vancouver Island blends, and so they had like different types of like cold drinks and like really sugary sweet drinks, matcha everything,
Hmm.
obviously. and which basically just tastes like earth to me. It's like eating a blueberry with
Yeah,
fuzz
no,
on it.
it's like eating grass.
Yeah, totally.
That is
And although we did try the matcha ice cream from McDonald's, that was the only thing we ate there. Their menu was wildly different, like because they go regional, right? So they had like a chicken burger with like a slice of pineapple, cooked pineapple on it
yeah,
for
that sounds kind of good.
yeah, and then they had like burgers with really bizarre sauces that I couldn't pronounce, and so I was like, "Where?" I mean, I tend not to eat that, but anyways, um, but yeah. So then they also had Montreal, right? So they based a whole bunch of their drinks out of like Montreal, and so it was just like the areas that people would know, right? Like oh Quebec and oh Vancouver, and so there was no like Wild West Calgary, whatever. Rude,
Missed opportunity.
totally like the beef coffee.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can get on board.
but it was fantastic and food. Singaporeans love their food, and so we would think we're going to a mall, and we would go into the mall, and it would be all restaurants and like a couple pharmacies and a hair salon,
Damn.
and we were like,
I mean,
where does one shop? And
nah,
they
food.
don't shop they don't shop downtown, right? So they keep all the food, and that's kind of where we were. And so, yeah, and we stayed at the Westin there, and it was just fantastic. Shout out to any of those wonderful humans if they're listening, watching. We made some really, really great connections with the folks who were at the Westin. I mean, we were there for 2 weeks, right? So we had like the private lounge, the club where we could go and have breakfast and hors d'oeuvres. Um, but like, yeah, like the food selections were just like next level. I think Erin had some of the best spaghetti and meat sauce she'd ever had
Mm,
in a hole in the wall in Raffles Place. Like I don't even know. It was crazy. And the one thing that was hard about Singapore was navigating it because it's such a small area.
right.
Everything is either underground or above ground. So like if you get an address, be prepared to like walk through like a plus 15 that none of the apps will be able to navigate you through. Um, and be okay asking people for directions. That's my advice. Be okay talking to the locals. They're fantastic. Everything is in English. There was no signage in Mandarin, in Malay, in any other language. Everything was English. So it was it was wonderful, and we did really great at the conference. People really, the messaging that we brought over there around resiliency and change leadership and intergenerational workforce was really well received. Like to the point where like, people were like following me around, trying to get time with me. Every time I turned around, there was a camera crew. Like I would turn around, like literally there was one where I was like in the expo area, just networking and learning about some of the technologies there. And I kind of see out of the corner of my eye this camera lens come up and like between the exhibits. And like then there was one where I was like standing having a conversation with somebody and there was like a tree, like an indoor tree. And there's like a camera, and I was just like, okay, like, and so I mentioned this to my partner that I was traveling with, and he was like, well, yeah, you are pretty different. He's like, don't take this the wrong way, but like, there's nobody who's bringing
That
this
kind of energy.
kind of thing. And I was like, well, of course. So yeah, we got some really good interest. I'll be back in January. And the interest was so great in the topic that we were talking about, which was, how do we create psychological safety in the workforce to get the optimization out of folks, all while we're dealing with volatility and disruption. And, when you look at the downstream market, what you're seeing digitalization, you're seeing decarbonization, you're seeing AI come in, and it's making a workforce very uncomfortable, particularly the generations that are kind of on the cusp of leaving. But then when you look at the generations that are coming in, like the Gen Z and even young millennials, they're like, well,
Hmm.
it's just not fashionable to work in such a destructive industry. And the thing is that they're not educated in terms of what the industry is doing for reclamation and like sustainability and all of those different kinds of things. And so I brought this presentation that said, this is how you work with a generational workforce. Because right now we have 7 generations in the workforce with
Yeah,
two
it's huge.
microgens, right? So how you communicate to a boomer who's like weeks or months or even a year away from retiring versus how you engage with a Gen Z who's just getting into the workforce is very different, very
Mm,
different. And the biases that we come with as Gen X or even elder millennial leaders or zillennial leaders like myself it's challenging. And so yeah, so the partner I was traveling with was like, okay, well, maybe we should bring this to the conference we're speaking at in Cannes and in France. And I was like, yeah, okay, no big deal. Like, if you want to, that would be great. And didn't think anything else of it. And so this past week, I had to go to Houston for, just time with my team and things like that, meetings there. And I'm like scrolling through emails on Tuesday, and I'm like, oh, this is actually happening. I'm going to Cannes, so I have to purchase a plane ticket. I have to clear the expenses from, the past 3 weeks off of my account. I have to, like, there's all these things that I had to do. Like, I woke up this morning and booked my hotel room. I leave on Saturday to go to France. So it's like the only way you knew I was leaving was because I put something on your calendar that says Kate
Yeah.
in France. I didn't even tell you. I was just like, oh, I guess I better put this on everybody's calendar.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And then a couple days later, I find out, and then yeah, it's fine.
yeah, yeah, it's good. Oh, by the way, I'm going away. We should probably get on and record. So it's a lot of really great things are happening. We're creating a lot of really good conversation, and we're solving, or we're bringing solutions. I wouldn't say we're solving. We're bringing solutions to concerns that leaders in industries have. And I know that oil and gas is not the only one who's dealing with these issues, right? Like, this is a global thing, and it's crossing markets. And so I'm really, really excited about the opportunity. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and the networking opportunities in Europe are great. We've got a really present team over there, so being able to kind of spend some time with our European leaders over there and upskill them to kind of the methodology and the mindset and the conversations that we're having, it's going to be great. So yeah,
I'm excited for you, mainly because
yeah.
in the last couple weeks, I've actually been doing a lot of training on how to integrate AI into properly
Hmm.
integrate, I should say,
Yeah.
especially in the creative industry. A lot of people just they rely on that, and then you see stuff come up, and they're like, "Well, we're not even going to look at it because it's AI." And I'm like, "No, see, AI is a tool, but depending on which generation you're kind of targeting, it's hard to talk people into that it can be used as a great tool for many different things. And oil and gas, I mean, you have everyone from so many different sectors. It's not just a
Crazy.
worker, it's not just a CEO. Like, you have so many in between. So
Hmm.
I can't imagine how much fun, I'm going to use that word, it is to bridge that gap. Yeah.
Did you see the backlash that Coke is getting for their holiday advertisement because they
Yes.
used only AI? And people are like, wow, this was the best advertisement for Pepsi that you could have ever made.
Yeah. Well, which on one side, I'm happy that AI is getting used for, good things too. The other side, as an artist in the creative industry, I'm like, damn, you guys put in a couple prompts and here you come out with this, and everyone's going crazy on how good it is. But you have to realize that, like, a computer is going to think, 1,000 times faster than us. They're able to pull things together from, and it's everything that's out there on the internet, right? AI doesn't just make up stuff, it pulls from what's already made. So I'm on the fence on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I like using it as a tool. I don't like using it as a, punt the real human
And
out
just
the door.
absolutely. Well, and I think that that's what happened. And it's so funny because it's like the comments on the YouTube video were really like crazy. And one of them was like, oh, yeah, that Christmas sloth. Like, they ended up like putting a sloth into it. And I was like, that's not even really a North American,
Yeah.
like, it's all snow and these big rigs and these trucks, and so it's like it's very clearly being marketed in North America. And then all of a sudden it's like there's like 10,000 rabbits. Okay, we get that, rabbits. Then there were some deer running around, and then all of a sudden it like ends on a sloth hanging in like a pine tree, and I was like, I feel like that was a bit of a miss.
Yeah. That's where the human part of that comes in.
Right.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
now maybe we should switch to a polar bear. I don't know.
Kind of
Or
worked for them for decades.
yeah,
The Coke
exactly.
Bears.
You see that red truck go by with the polar bear on there? You know it's Coca-Cola.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a tough one. I love it. I hate it. Some days I
yeah.
just like it, but I would think it really depends on the industry, and it's the training that goes behind that. Like, learn to use it as a tool, that it's not there
Hmm.
to take over your job. Granted, there
Yeah.
is some industries that are like, "Oh, we can save thousands of dollars and just do this. But then you end up with the backlash of, why is there a sloth in a North American ad?
Yeah.
But
Well, and I think we're seeing like in our industry, we're seeing ways to use it in consulting that actually creates cost savings for the clients and creates efficiency for us. And I
mhm.
think, I think there's a lot to be said about that. And I haven't talked a whole lot about it, but I've actually developed a concept. Right now, it's probably sitting around, I would say it's probably like a 15 to 18-page document where I've created a whole new concept from soup to nuts. Like, what is it? Why does it exist? How is it going to help a business thrive? What do leaders get out of it? What do employees get out of it? Then I've gone down to say, how do you actually govern this? Then the next stage is, how do you implement it? And then the next stage is, what's your tech stack that you actually need in order for this to happen? And so, like, this concept is, it's it's coming out of infancy and it's really growing, and now we're looking down the barrel of finding a partner to work with on that to actually develop it and build it out. But even in that same vein, like we're using it in really unique ways and then really non-unique ways. And the expectation is that if you're using it, that's fine. You should be using it, but the human in the loop is such a real, such a powerful experience, right? And so you talk about human in the loop in terms of like advertising, marketing, things like that. It's very clear that they probably had somebody who was involved in this. I guarantee you there's a large ad marketing team that was running it.
Oh,
But when it comes down to actually testing it out with a real audience and not just a bunch of people or robots, like how are they doing the market testing for something like that, right? And where we're actually seeing the biggest gap is in AI governance. You should never implement anything unless you understand fully what the boundaries are with it. And
yes.
that's the gap that I'm seeing in business right now is people are rushing because they are like it's the shiny object syndrome. This is not a new thing in the world of change leadership. We mitigate these issues all the time. But in this space, what we're seeing is we're seeing people making decisions based off of wants, maybe partially understood needs. And the other thing is when you have senior leaders who are making decisions about things like I can almost 100% guarantee that the data that they're making those decisions on has been filtered at least twice,
Oh,
maybe three or four times before getting to them. Because everybody wants something to be perfect before they present it to an executive. And like that's just it's clown shoes. You have to go in and you have to engage those stakeholders early, and you have to be very very specific about what it is that you are looking to achieve. And that's the problem is people don't have their use cases fully understood, and they do not have their leadership in a position of fully understanding what the implications and who's on first. This is causing it's like it's like causing like family rifts in the business world because IT thinks they own it, operations thinks they own it, marketing thinks they own it. Okay, but who actually owns it? Like who's on first? Who makes the final call in a decision? What does consensus look like in your organization? Is it 100% or is it 80-20? And has
mhm.
everybody agreed to that? What's the way to do an intake so that you're being efficient with, the right team getting it and deploying it? Like there's all of these questions. Who makes sure that it continues to learn and sustains it after the fact? Like it can't be a one and done. AI is like having a hamster.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if you just get the hamster and you put it in the wheel and you just let it run, but nobody's there to feed it, clean up the cage, make sure it has water, make sure it's still in the cage. Because I mean, hello, hamsters, they escape. AI, it has leakage. What are you doing to manage all of that? That's your governance strategy, right? And so, yeah, we have a lot of work to do in that space, and this is the biggest downfall right now that I'm seeing.
Well, I took a couple courses in the last couple weeks, and a lot of it was to do with that. And I will be completely honest, I didn't think too much of that part because
Mhm.
what I create, anyways, isn't like so much of someone's personal information. Where seeing them in businesses, it's like
Mhm.
if you're posting anything into an AI about anyone, they are scouring that internet. So then you start putting their information in there,
Mhm.
that starts to build out. And did you actually get uh not consensus, like confirmation
And
from said person
yeah.
that you're putting that out there for now millions, billions of people to have access to. But no
Absolutely.
one thinks of that one part. I'm like, this
No.
is such a privacy thing that if you're not thinking of the inner workings of it, because everyone just thinks, oh, well, the computer's going to keep in this one little square and it's not going to expand out. As soon as you put someone's name in there, it's kind of game over there. And now it's out in the Ethernet. It's going to keep growing from there because it's going to keep pulling and pulling and pulling. So,
Hmm.
not just in the art industry, I mean, that's how AI art came to be. It was literally pulling from a picture we put on the internet, or, portfolios are a big thing for us that goes on there. And AI is just pulling from these millions of pictures that are on there. So, how do you think that they can pretty much write a person's biography now with a couple prompts? It's
Yeah.
because someone else has put that in there out on the internet. So I do hope in the next at least 2 years that they really start to focus on the privacy thing of it. Because I know myself, I wouldn't want all my stuff out there either without my consent.
Well, and I think like if you're purchasing it as a company, like what we see a lot of is Microsoft Copilot.
Mhm.
Microsoft Office 365 comes with it, but that doesn't mean that the license that you have containerizes your information. Like there are things that need to go into building an agent that keep it private and in-house, right? And working with different companies, and I mean, like honestly, we're in a point of assessment with a lot of our tools and the intent of where we want to go with our ops excellence system. But what we're finding is like some of them have really great backgrounds and they have really great detailed understanding of refining and the areas that we work in. But they don't have the ability to scale, right? And so we're doing a lot of networking right now to find those people where we can actually get a closed private environment that has guardrails to avoid leakage, but also has governance like wrapped around it so that we know that there's like a maintenance approach to how we look at that and how we audit our own system. Because you're hitting a really great point. What we believe is, I mean, we have personal and private information in anywhere, right? And you and I have had conversations about this even just in the past 2 days over some of the podcasts that we've recorded. But how we handle it in North America is vastly different than how they handle it in Europe, right? When
Oh,
you're in a Shenzhen province, you have GDPR, and that is completely different. Where you're not allowed to store anything about anybody in
mhm.
terms of a certain period of time. And so, what is the implication of that? And what's interesting is the way that we've aligned our operations excellence management system. And I know for like a lot of our listeners, you're probably bored as hell right now, but for us, we've
Some
actually
of us are
aligned.
nerds.
Yeah, right here. We've aligned our system to not necessarily just the elements, but it also has common systems. And so the common systems are things like management of change. We have AI and information management. We have communications and engagement because those touch so many areas of an
Mhm.
operating model of how a business runs. But we have literally baked and this is where we kind of stand apart in our system, is we've baked change leadership into our leadership element, and we have baked AI into our common system of information management because we know that it is so much more than having a standalone procedure saying thou shalt over here, knowing that it actually how you manage and govern your AI is actually how you manage and govern your information. Like they're not different. They're just different methods or different systems, right? And so yeah, it's really, really interesting. We're on the frontier of it. Well, I kind of think we're in the thick of it and everybody's trying to race to figure it out. And the bottom line is you can race and figure it out and do it wrong, and you can have the fallout from that, or you can race and be methodical, and you can be diligent, and you can
Mhm.
be consistent in how you show up, and you can deliver quality. And I think that's one of the other things that we're investing in is consulting quality, because it's like we need to make sure that just as much as we would expect a refiner to put out a quality product, we internally to who we are as a consulting firm, we have the same expectation for quality when we put that out to our clients. So it's yeah, we've got a lot of moving pieces going on around this, and I'm happy to have conversations. And of course, listeners, viewers, if there's any questions that you have or any contrary thoughts, we would love to hear more about that from you. So, yeah. So just getting back in the saddle, heading out to France over the weekend, and we'll be out there for a week before coming back. And I think I get to stick around my house for a week before heading out to the Kootenays.
Whole week. I don't know
A
what you're
whole week.
gonna do.
Like, I don't even think it's a whole, it's not. It's like I get home Sunday and we're driving out Thursday afternoon to go visit my uncle. And it's great because, he's in his 80s and he's a wonderful human being. It's my dad's brother. And um, coming up here on the 20th of November, it'll be 5 years since my dad passed away. And he and I were, you read all about him in Unbreakable, and you see who he was as a person through the book. And I am the reason I am the way I am because of him. And so it'll be really good to go and be with my uncle and his wife, and just, it's a weekend trip. But, when people are in their 80s, like, I don't ever want to have regrets or what ifs,
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we're like into like December. Like,
December. I know.
where did this year go, man? Like,
I don't know. Every time I look, it's like, oh, we're in the middle of, August. And then next time I blink, it's the middle of October. And now we're halfway through November. And I swore November started yesterday, but
yeah, yeah,
life goes fast sometimes.
it does. It does. And we've had some really great guests on lately as well, eh? Like,
Yes. We have
we had,
one coming up that's, Central Alberta's pageant winner from 2025. Brooklyn is now out. If you haven't went and watched hers, go back and watch it. And she's a language coordinator, or well, student coordinator, but practices in language.
loves language, yeah.
Uh,
The Indigenous language. That podcast just hit me right here. Like, she's just so
she's a great
powerful.
human.
Yeah, and this is I referenced this hoodie in the podcast with
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
there we
Is
go.
You're not going to see it. It's going to be backwards because I don't like my face to be backwards, but it says Big Anti Energy, and it was such a compliment to receive this gift from the team there, because it's that's full acceptance into
Oh,
community, and just
100%.
so I value it so much. But it was the hoodie that I felt like wearing today, and maybe it was Brooklyn inspired. And we had Alicia XL on here. She was a hoot. Man, it took me, like, a shout out to Alicia's followers. If you guys are still with us after all that AI shit, I got to be honest with you. You guys had me running for days. Because I think that there's something to be said. Like, I don't know about you, but like, I unfollow people who don't interact. And I
100%.
understand that everybody can't interact. Like, LeBron James is not going to interact with every follower. I get that. But if I see LeBron interacting with a lot of followers, and then I see, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, are you building community, or are you just barfing shit out?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I interacted, not that I think I'm like LeBron James, just to be very clear, I'm not. But I think I ended up interacting with every single person and every single response. And so I hope that the content we go and we publish is of value, because, we followed it up with a couple of other reels, and then we did like non-scale victories, which I think is great, because I think a lot of times one of the things that I recognize people don't do very well is they don't celebrate.
No, especially if it's yourself. That's
Yeah,
a hard one, a tough one to actually get to that point.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. Even her followers like opened my eyes every time I, check analytics or go on Instagram. It was like 30 comments on there. I'm like, this is
yeah,
wild.
yeah.
But
Well,
they're
and
just humans.
absolutely, and it inspired me to try and make a video the way that Alicia does. And I mentioned it in our podcast with Kiara when we were talking about being a content creator. And I was just like, oh my God, it is so much work. I tried to do it while food prep was being done, so I'll send it to you, so you can stitch that shit together, because I was like, I don't even know if what I'm doing is right. But I admire her, because Alicia's so humble and
Hmm.
very kind and very accepting. And I mean, I did call her out a little bit on self-depreciation, but I think we all go through a journey, right?
Yeah,
And so I want to commend her. And I mean, we're going to have her back, because she and we're
100%.
going to collaborate with her. I would love to have her back probably once a month to just keep tabs on her journey, but also just to keep her engaged in this journey, right? Because when you've got people who are rooting you on, and not only that, but she's friggin' smart as hell and brings a lot
Yeah.
to the conversation, right? Um, but yeah, and we have a couple of other folks who we've got scheduled. I think we're scheduling into December now to do some recordings, which is fabulous. But yeah, overall, I think we're seeing some really good turning of the tides. People are really resonating with our material. We're getting a lot of follows and shares, and so we really want to just thank our followers for that and our listeners, and just keep sharing and keep asking questions. So we didn't have time to do any listener questions for this particular episode, just a bit of an update and some banter. But if you look into the themes of what we're seeing in our questions, are you seeing anything specific right now?
Right now, it's been kind of quiet. I think everyone's kind of been really listening to the, Alicia's stories, Brooklyn's story. A lot of people coming forward with not just, I mean, we don't focus just on the leadership aspect. It's
Yeah,
literally
the life
it's life
aspect.
story. So I think a lot of that, and what a lot of people actually seem to be struggling with is the self-worth kind of
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it. I noticed a lot of the comments, putting Alicia up, which is great, but then putting themselves down. I'm
Yeah.
like, you can do both, though. I know it's hard, but that's the theme I've been kind of seeing lately
Mm-hmm.
is look how great this person is doing. I wish my life wasn't as shitty, or
Yeah.
I had better things about my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. I've been there. I go back there once in a while and
Mm-hmm.
take myself out. But I think that's kind of maybe it's the weather change too.
Could
Based
be
in Canada, it's dark at
dark.
4:30.
Yeah.
Seasonal depression hits, but I think
Mm-hmm.
more of the self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
Building yourself up, I should say,
Yeah.
has been
Yeah.
kind of the theme lately.
Okay, so let's put a call to action out for our followers, new followers, our listeners, our viewers. Um, let's put a call out. What is it that you need support with to change the internal dialogue and the narrative around who you are and what you bring to the world? Because there is a very distinct opportunity. We're rounding this year out, and we have an opportunity for you to start your your journey now. We don't have to wait until January 1st to change our behaviors, our internal dialogue, what we want to do. It is okay if you want to go and have Christmas like crazy. I am all about that. Have the drinks, have the food, listen to your body's cues. But what do you need to be your best self as you round this year out and move into the new year? And the other thing I want to do is the next time you and I get together and banter, we are going to talk about how to survive the holidays. A
Yes.
lot of people get anxiety. We're coming into Thanksgiving is a big one. A lot of people are feeling anxiety over the state of politics and the ability to move around the country. That was a challenge to get home for some of us last week during this government shutdown, which I read today is progressing towards starting back up again, which is great. But listeners, what do you need to know about how to get through the holidays? What are the things? Is it fitness related? Is it diet related? Is it family relationships? Is it personal introspection? Is it grief? I know a lot of people go through a lot at the holidays when they've lost somebody who's important to them. So let's have that dialogue. And so submit your questions, and Josie and I will answer them. We'll come together in the next week or so and get something out here for you guys to be able to hang on to, because I think it's really important that we acknowledge the fact that while the holidays are intended to be joyful and joyous, they
That's not
aren't
for
always.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I am one of those. But
yeah.
again, I have tools in my toolbox. I talk through it. We'll get to that on the next episode, though, and
Yeah,
see what both of our tools are for that one.
absolutely. I'm going to challenge you and say you probably used to be that one. You're probably not there anymore.
Yeah, I think I'm
You've done,
actually looking forward to this Christmas for sure.
and so you should. You've got this
Yeah.
brand new nephew. You've got this beautiful partner.
No, I'm gonna have to get 6 more jobs though, because every time I go to a store now, I'm like, he needs
Oh,
this. Got him a Grinch
yes,
uniform the other day. It's great.
a Grinch uniform.
I love the Grinch. He's my favorite guy.
It's not a uniform, it's a costume, but maybe it is a uniform
I know
because he
it's a
is.
uniform. It's the Grinch squad in this house. I have a Grinch onesie that I love to actually wear, minus when it gets a little bit too hot or, the Christmas stuff. Now he's got a little one, so they are uniforms to me,
Okay, they're
not
uniforms.
costumes.
Okay, not
Yeah,
costumes. So we're
we're a
not
cult over here.
cosplaying.
Don't worry
We're
about
a
it.
cult. Well, this was awesome. It was great to catch up with you. Yeah, we'll look forward to hearing from our listeners. What makes you your best self, and what do you need to know to make it through? Let's not say make it through the holidays, to thrive through the
Yeah,
holidays. What do you need to know to thrive through the holidays, and how can we be here to support you? But
yeah, it's a good one.
we'll save that for the next one.
Agreed.
Awesome. It was great to catch up.
Yes, we'll do it again in not 4 weeks time.
Yeah, yeah. It's me. All
Yay.
right. Well, listeners, viewers, remember, protect your peace, chase your dreams, and always stay unbreakable.